U.S. new car sales surge at fastest pace in nearly 7 years. U.S. sales of cars and light trucks surged 9% in November, 1.24 million units, and rolled off dealership lots at the fastest pace in almost 7 years. The industry's annualized sales rate, adjusted for seasonal factors, rose to 16.4 million last month, up from 15.3 million a year earlier and easily topping analysts' forecasts in the 15.8 million range. Last month's SAAR was the highest since the 16.8 million mark reached in February 2007, 10 months before the start of the recession. It's the second time the SAAR has topped 16 million this year after hitting 16.1 million in August, a sign that the industry's recovery still has plenty of fuel. Industry sales in November picked up after Thanksgiving, contributing to the best sales pace of the year, said Bill Fay, Toyota Division Group Vice President and General Manager. Showroom traffic surged over the holiday weekend for Toyota, indicating good momentum we expect to continue through the end of the year and into 2014. It was the best November since 2003 and just over 84,000 units shy of the industry's best November ever, 2001, when sales totaled 1.328 million. Industry sales topped 16 million units from 1999 through 2007 before the collapse of 2008-09. General Motors and Chrysler Group led major automakers with hefty increases in November sales, with pickups in new models such as the Jeep Cherokee driving the gains. Toyota Motor Corp. and Nissan Motor Co. posted smaller double-digit increases, while Honda Motor Co. volume slipped 0.1% from record November 2012 results. Ford Motor Co. generated an increase of 7% and said it scaled back its North American production plans for the first quarter of 2014. Among smaller automakers, Subaru continued its surge while Volkswagen extended its slump. Demand was robust for everything from cars to crossovers. Kurt McNeil, head of U.S. sales operations for GM, said in a statement. GM's deliveries climbed 14% on a 19% rise in volume to individual customers. Deliveries rose 20% at GMC, 13% at Chevrolet and Buick, and 11% at Cadillac. Cherokee deliveries totaled nearly 10,200 units in its first full month on the market. For the 7th straight month, Ford sold more than 60,000 F-Series pickups. Volume rose 7% at the Ford division and 17% at Lincoln. It was the second consecutive month of double-digit gains at Lincoln after a string of mostly flat sales. Ford said it also plans to build 770,000 vehicles in the first quarter of 2014 in North America, a drop of 2% from 784,000 vehicles produced in the first quarter of 2013. A Ford spokesman today cited the need to match production with demand for the decline in output. Ford started November with a 90 days supply of light vehicles, compared with a 72 days supply a year ago. The company said previously it plans to temporarily idle U.S. plants that build the Ford Fusion, Focus and C-Max to trim stockpiles. Toyota said its U.S. deliveries increased last month by 10% to 178,044 units. At American Honda, sales dropped 2% at the Honda division and increased 19% at Acura. With their second best ever November sales, we likely extended our retail sales lead despite very aggressive market actions by competitors in key high-volume segments. John Mendel, Executive Vice President of Sales at American Honda, said in a statement, "And we're upping the ante as we approach the close of the year with a significantly updated 2014 Civic going on sale in just a few days." Healthy demand for the Ram pickup and new Jeep Cherokee propelled Chrysler Group to a 16% increase, its 44th consecutive monthly advance. Cherokee's hot start. After several launch delays, Cherokee deliveries totaled nearly 10,200 units in its first full month on the market. Jeep, Chrysler Group's second biggest division after Dodge, has been largely missing from the mid-sized SUV market since the Liberty was discontinued in August 2012. Ram pickup demand jumped 22% to 29,635, its best November since 2003. Sales rose 30% at Jeep, 25% at the Ram brand, 12% at the Chrysler brand, and 4% at Dodge. Deliveries slipped 15% at Fiat. Overall, Chrysler's car sales fell 7% and light truck demand jumped 26%. Our launch emphasis on Jeep Cherokee quality is now being rewarded with brisk sales, Reed Bigland, head of U.S. sales operations for Chrysler Group, said in a statement. Hyundai set a November sales record with volume of 56,005 units, a gain of 5%. John Krafcik, CEO of Hyundai Motor America, said in a Twitter posting earlier today the gains were led by the Santa Fe, Accent, and Elantra. Nissan North America sold 106,528 light vehicles last month, a record for November, and up 11% from a year earlier. New and redesigned models spurred a 37% rise in sales at Jaguar Land Rover last month. Land Rover, benefiting from the revamped flagship Range Rover and Voque, set a November sales record of 4,601 units. Jaguar volume increased 103% to 1,446 units. And Agos, Group Sales Operations Director for Jaguar and Land Rover, said he expects strong year-end sales to set annual US benchmarks for both brands. VW skips discount wars. November was another tough month for Volkswagen of America. The VW brand's sales fell 16% as sales of the Jetta sedan, Passat sedan and Tiguan crossover all declined, leaving the brand's year-to-date sales 5% below last year. One contributing factor, VW has cut incentives 13% since September. That partly reflects the changeover to the 2014 model year, but Volkswagen Group of America CEO Jonathan Browning told reporters today he is determined that VW will not follow the super aggressive incentives and the generous financing deals being offered this holiday season.